like slaves anymore because we're not slaves.
If you cannot control what you eat, then you cannot control what you feel.
Eat your largest meals in the middle of the day, not the end of the day.
What part the homeostasis plays, you're on your way to healing yourself. The homeostasis is the internal environment where your body is at its ultimate functionality for healing. Just keep in mind that everything that is happening to you is happening for you.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Hello, I am Carolyn, and you are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. And today's topic is the best foods for mental health benefits. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. We are streaming live on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and we are on Instagram. So for anyone that's here this morning, thank you all so much for joining us. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. YouTube channel is Dr. Farid Zarif. Also, if you can share this live out to anyone that you know that may need this information, this is going to be great information. It is Mental Health Month. So we're going to start the month off with talking about mental health. So again, the best foods for mental health benefits. So Dr. Zarif, if you can please join me here on stage so we can get it started. That would be
Hello, hello. It's great to be here.
Hello.
All right. How's it going? How are you doing?
Great. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I thought there was feedback. Hello.
All right. It's great to see you. Yeah, we're going to definitely have a beautiful time. We would definitely have to stop to give our royal shout outs. We have family on. We want to welcome everyone. We start off with the beautiful Cheryl Lee, gentle, smart. Thank you so much for being here. Cheryl Lee is also an RN, very, very brilliant RN. And we really always thank her for being here, along with Allison Gento. Yes, that is the king, the leader, the leader of the Gentles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sending our love and our appreciation for you being here. And we have Watch What the Health in the house. I'm so glad to see that Watch What the Health is in the house, and a brother that is definitely one of our most highly sought vegan activists. Very, very great to see you there. And we have Marsha. Marsha Gambles is here. Woo! Man, it is so, it's just great to see you here. And she's from the Knox Presbyterian. This is where we used to work out. Thank you very much for being here. Lovey. That is so sweet for you to show up this morning and say, to share your time with us too. That's really, really great. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to go over here to, who else do we have? Malika. Malika is in the house. Malika BDZ is in the house, and St. Evenston 650 is here, and we welcome you all. Thank you very much for being here. Make sure that you share, because we really got some acknowledgement of mental health. Now, mental health is something that we've been hearing of as a trend lately, but we're gonna see if we can talk about that a little bit today too. What you got going on big time, Carolyn?
Just ready to get this information out. It's funny that you say that mental health is a trend.
No, I didn't. I want to straighten that out. No, I didn't say that it is a trend, but some people are looking at it, or some people do think of it as a trend because, yeah, I think.
Okay.
Just wanted to clear that up.
Okay. You stopped me like, no, I didn't. Well, and the direction I was going to go with that is, there are some things that are trends, and you're like, oh, I'll be so happy when this passes, that this trend passes. But you have when trends when it happens, it's like everyone is aware of it. So I was just going to say it's great that if mental health is a trend, then that's a great trend for us to have. But you didn't mean it in that way. But I was just going to say, hey, it's great that our minds is on mental health awareness, especially for the Black community. That's what I
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. We have Barbara Gimes in the house. Thank you for being here. One of the smartest ladies I know. Thank you so much for being here. Barbara is also a wonderful teacher. I think she's retired now, but brilliant, brilliant woman. Thank you very much for being here, Barbara. And Dustin Bayette, man, look at all this talent here this morning. Dustin is one of the most talented guys I know, vocalist, he's also a musician, he's an engineer, he's a lot of different wonderful things. Thank you very much for being here. You know, Yolanda, woo, popping in, Yolanda Rogers. Hey, it's great seeing you. Thank you, Big Mama, as we call her. Thank you for, well, you know, you're getting the smaller mama now because losing, looking good, losing a lot of weight and keeping us inspired. Thank you so much. What's good? Everything is good, brother. Everything is beautiful. Thank you for asking that, Dustin. And Denise Kane, the wonderful Denise Kane. This is a lady that keeps me inspired to we work out, and we keep our bodies together and have fun while we're doing it. One of the most grand vocalists also. Denise is also among many things. She's a great vocalist and pianist. And we're really, really happy that everybody is here today. I want you to sit back and get involved. Leave your comments here. Let's have a great time. We won't keep you too long, but we're going to keep you long enough so that we can talk about this situation where we have so many people that are present or they present with mental health issues. Okay. So before I get into that, I just want to say thank you very much again. Kara got out here before I could say it. She's up and ready. She's moving this morning.
You know, I just know that you have a lot of information. I'm like, all right, let's get to it. But no,
okay.
Go ahead. Are you going to ask me something?
No, but I just followed that lead. I did want to say congratulations. Barbara Grimes has now lost 20 pounds. She's down 20 pounds. And that is a really, let's give it up. Yeah. Woo. All right, Barbara, keep it up. Keep up the good work. That's really great. It's not easy, but it is possible. So thank you so much for that. Let's get it going, Karen. Let's go ahead and get it going. All right.
Let's go. I'm ready. Let's go.
All
Ready.
Here we go. Food for mental health benefits. And we really appreciate you for being here. Let's see if we can go ahead and start off with just sharing with you that the mental health has always been around. It's not something that's brand new. And as we were talking about earlier today, some people do look at it as something new and that is just the latest trend. While the sheer volume of mental health content online might make it seem like everyone has a mental illness or some kind of issue with mental illness, is not really entirely true. Some folks even say that we all have mental illnesses, and some of us just present it more than others. However, the rates of mental health conditions have increased, and the improvements, that's the good news. The latest research from Mental Health of America found that over 50 million adults in the United States have a mental illness. 50 million. Now, there's like what, about 375 million plus um, in our population. And of that 375 plus, 50 million adults these are the ones that are known or reported to have a mental illness. Now, for thousands of years, the mental illness was believed to be caused by something like, something superstitious or something that was supernatural or something that had to do with religion. This illness is definitely something that many people deal with, but you see that it's tied into, it could be tied into religion or supernatural things, supernatural in nature. So we'll talk about that a little bit, because we also talked about how we're affected by what we eat and how we eat, our belief system, how it ties us into what we think is just nutrition. Now, the increased awareness of the mental health. Now, more discussion means that those who struggle with their mental health may understand their condition better or more likely to reach out for help, because many people do keep this to themselves. You're only as ill as your deepest secret. So we want people to start speaking up and to get past this I'm better if I don't tell people my business. You see me in just over a month ago now, I've been very transparent about my enlargement of the prostate, and that's the BPH, the benign prostatic hyperplasia. And many men have the same thing, but they won't speak up about it, nor will they do anything about it. Speaking up is what made me go all the way through and being healthy. I'm here, I'm healthy, I feel super great. It's not that you become sick. Some things happen where you have to make corrections and improvement. Now, it's true that some people are being misdiagnosed also, or are misdiagnosing themselves with mental health conditions like depression or anxiety or neurodevelopmental disorders like autism or ADHD. But these conditions really are prevalent. And this increased the discussion of these particular illnesses, so that people will be more aware of that fact, or these facts. Now, as we continue to talk about that, Karen and I were just talking about how trendish it might be to some individuals or some groups. Why the mental health trends matter is that the increased rates of mental conditions, according to 2022, just a couple of years ago, the survey from CNN in partnership with the Kaiser Family Foundation, 90% of the United States adults believe that there's a mental health crisis in our country. And they are not wrong. So the Mental Health Association in 2023 researched on the state of mental health in America. And this is what they found. This is just a few months ago. Over 12.1 million American adults experience thoughts of suicide. Some you might, if you're in the this is a part of your career, ideation or suicidal ideation is very prevalent. And we're talking about over 12.1 million American adults experience thoughts of suicide. Over 1 in 10 youth in the United States are experiencing depression that is severely impairing their ability to function at school, at work, at home, and with family, or in their social lives. 1 in 10 youths. Over half, which is 54 to be exact, is 54.7% of adults with a mental illness, they do not receive any type of treatment for these diseases. We talk about mental illness. And again, this isn't just bad news. We just want to be more aware of what we're facing when it comes to mental illness. Almost a third, that's 28.2% of all adults with a mental illness reported that they were not able to receive the treatment they needed. 59.8% of the youth with major depression do not receive any mental health treatment. And nationally, 1 in 10 youth who are covered under private insurance do not have coverage for mental or emotional difficulties. So we got to move on that. We can't just let it happen and we just say, hey, this person is sick or this person needs help. We have to be about being proactive to get them help. And if this is also speaking to you, you should be also working on a way that you can get help. In the United States, there are an estimated 350 individuals for every 1 mental health provider. So you see the imbalance there. There is definitely a big difference in that particular ratio. We need more healthcare or professional healthcare providers. Now, those struggling with their mental health feel less alone. The mental health trend, as we were talking about earlier, can help individuals suffering from their mental issues this can help the way that you feel about yourself can really change by people speaking up about what you're facing or what you think you're facing. Now, which is crucial when someone is struggling with poor mental health. Now, there are some online platforms, especially for those of you that are loners and you're always by yourself or you like to be alone, you're introverted. Well, these online platforms like TikTok and Reddit and Discord, they can offer someone who feels alone or confused acceptance and community. Now, in saying that the mental health is just a trend is extremely dangerous. It almost seems like mental illness was being reduced to a hashtag or an internet challenge that you should something that you should do as part of a game or something because it seemed cool or it seems to be a part of your own brand or in alignment with your persona. Well, it's nothing like that. This is a serious situation. People who are struggling with the mental health are already marginalized as a group. And the idea that they're all faking it is extremely damaging to them and to all those who believe it. Now, when you face it, the question of whether or not people fake mental illness is because it's trendy. And we want to get away from that, people thinking that, their mental illness is trendy. Oh, I got so-and-so. Well, I'm ADHD. Well, I'm this, I'm that. Well, this can be quite damaging, as I just explained. Okay, let's go ahead and continue with Carrie. You want to come up and just let people know where they are, what we're doing today, and then we're going to continue.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. And thank you to everyone that has joined us here in the Mind of Nature. Today's topic is the best foods for mental health benefits. And it being Mental Health Awareness Month, this is great information and right on time. If you are just joining us, thank you so much for being here. Please share the live so we can have others be a part of this really great conversation that's going on, and information that's being shared is just really great information. I'm over here and I'm taking notes, and it's just really great information. So for everyone, just please share the live. Remember, we don't want to keep Dr. Zarif a secret. We want to get that information out to other people so they can be a part of it, and just be a part of learning and getting all the information. So Dr. Zarif, if you can join me back here on stage. There was something that you just said, Dr. Zarif, that I thought was really interesting. If you can join me back here on stage. There you are. You mentioned social media platforms being a part of people having a community. And it's funny that you said that, because TikTok, I've been really getting into TikTok, and I've been on there, and there's this thing called TikTok battles. And I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And as far as the community part of it, I really do see that in TikTok. So that's when you said that, I was like, oh, that's for sure what I've experienced when it comes to that platform. So just great information. Can you tell I'm enjoying this information? This is really great information.
Well, thank you. It's another thing that we know that for those people that spend, like, I don't think that it's been coined aloneness disease or aloneness disorders. This is when people, especially women, end up by themselves. And it's good to start now in having a community, a group of people that you all can all align with, because this is important to our balance. Our socializing is super important, that we have family. Wow, you look so serious, Kara. What's going on?
Oh, no. I guess that's my look of just looking at, and I'm interested, and I'm just listening.
It looked like you were thinking of something that happened in the past, and you wanted to get even or something.
No.
All right, let's keep that energy rolling. Hey, I had to stop. But anyway, I wanted to say thank you very much. We have the Dr. D. Coates now. She is a doctor of theology. Let's give her a hand. She just graduated, I think, less than 30 days ago. And thank you very much for being here. Diva D is Dr. D now. Hey, now, that's beautiful. And we really appreciate you for being here. And we have Miss J. Congratulations to you. She says that this is her week 2 of going plant-based, and she hasn't been constipated, and there's less swelling in her ankles. That swelling in her ankles, and people that edema, water retention. That's very, very excellent. And we have Suzette Story Time for Children is in the house. Thank you very much for coming and joining us this morning. I am so glad to have such a wonderful attendance this today, because we really want you to hear these things. A lot of people are right now today suffering from mental disease or mental illness diseases and don't even know it. And those that do know it have not done anything about it. I wanted to also welcome Jedward 330 in the house. Thank you very much for being here, Jedward 330, along with, let me get this right, is it Tenar's Vibe, I think. Just something, I don't know. Maybe you can make that out, Care. But I really want to, I don't want to mess up your name here. TANAIRIS Vibe. So thank you very much for being here and really appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and get back on the subject here. Mental health is what we're talking about. So let's go back to it. I'm going to bring that on up. And now look, when we're talking about some of these things as we're going along, we just want you to keep that energy up. That's what our theme to keep it up, keep it up. Let's go ahead and get as much energy as we can get up. We really appreciate you, and we appreciate you being here. Watch what the health is actually speaking out to us. As a vegan, I reportedly encountered trolls who do not want to stop slaughtering animals for meat, milk. It's very frustrating. And yes, that is the way of the world. That's the way that many people are continuing to do these as far as the slaughtering of animals. There are reported over 25 million animals are used every day for the for our our appetites, and we'll talk about that. Definitely, we'll definitely get into that as we go along here. But I hear you. We know we are definitely in support of you, and we're going to keep going to so we can get ourselves together to do something about these things. So, Sophia Jackson, greetings to you too. Thank you very much for being here. All right, let's get back to it, and then I'll get back to some of the questions or comments that you'd like to leave or to share. Now, I'm going to just move up here. One of the things I wanted to definitely say that which is good news, is the reduced stigma surrounding mental health. There's definitely a stigma surrounding mental health, but because there's a greater awareness now, that stigma is being reduced. More and more people feel encouraged to speak out about their mental health, both about their problems and how they take care of their mental wellness. For many, that means that they no longer feel like they have to be quiet, that it's a secret, you're being clandestine, just to get past to get past on how you feel about yourself, or it should be a secret and is nobody else's business. Of course, I do agree with you. Just don't go up to anybody and start talking about your private business. But it is good to have some people that you can discuss it with, or some of those platforms that you can go on to discuss what it is that you are challenged with, so that you can start or take the steps to become a better manager of your illnesses. So what is mental health? Mental health includes our emotional, our psychological, and social well-being. Now, it affects how we think and how we feel and how we act. The action is super important. It also helps to determine how we handle stress and relate to others and make healthy choices. Mental health is important at every stage of life, for childhood and adolescent, all the way through adulthood. Now, when we talk about mental health, there's many reasons that we have problems with mental health, and it can definitely be these things, especially in Black people or African American or American African, your choice, because we deal with this more than any other races, and that is the racism, the discrimination, the violence, and the poverty. So these are all stressors of the diverse ethnic racial groups. Now, I don't want to go too much in racial right now, but we know that there are disparities, and that we want to do something about that. And mental health disparities, factors, these are things like the things that the unjust, the ways that we're marginalized, the ways that we're treated in the hospitals and by doctors that are now, as we speak, that are taking on some of the very negative and derogatory frames of minds toward Black people. And we've been treated or mistreated in hospitals under some of the care of some of the doctors, not all of them. There are some incredible healthcare professionals, and what we want to do is we want to expose those who are not, those who are doing things that are damaging, detrimental to us, so that we can stop that. I cannot blame anybody for feeling imbalanced or afraid or lacking confidence when it comes to some of the eotropistic approaches that we must face when we go into hospitals. That is the frightening of those people with your lab coats and stethoscopes and all the different gadgets, and you know, it really can cause an acute phobia, and this is something that we want to make a difference, do something about it, and get these doctors to hear your voice. And that's why here on The Mind of Nature, we teach you how to speak to your doctor, what you should expect from your doctor, know about something about your doctor's specialty, know something about their history. Make sure that you follow up on your doctor so that you will know who you're dealing with. You shouldn't feel like a stranger. Know something about them as they do requests. We request to know something about you when you come into history, your family history, and so forth. Now, why is the mental health important for overall health? Mental and physical health are equally important components of your overall health. For example, depression increases the risk for many types of physical health problems, particularly long-lasting conditions like diabetes, like heart disease, and stroke. Similarly, the presence of chronic conditions can increase the risk of mental illness. So it's all about that balance. It's what you're eating, is how you're exercising, is how you are feeling cared for in your environment. Environment is super, super important. Don't think it's not. So it's very important that you live in a place where it is you're being loved and respected, where you feel protected, that is secure. It's very important that you feel this way. No one should be living in fear for their lives and for their livelihood. Is super important. So keep that in mind as we continue with this wonderful presentation on our mental health. Now, can you or your mental health change over time? Well, the answer is yes. It's important to remember that a person's mental health can change over time, depending on many factors. On when the demands placed on a person exceed their resources and coping abilities, their mental health could be impacted. In other words, if you are learning things, for instance, you have certain tools, and these tools help you to manage your experience with your mental health, then this is something that you should put into motion. Be proactive about it. Don't wait around and say, I'm going to wait until I have an episode or I'm in trouble before I take action. As a matter of fact, you can talk to your PCP and get assigned a specialist, a specialist to help you, okay? Just don't self-diagnose. Just read stuff off of the internet and then think that you got it all figured out. All right, let's go ahead and move ahead. Excuse me. Now, here, what are some of this is an important question. What causes mental illness? When there is no single cause for mental illness, a number of factors can contribute to risk for mental illness, such as adverse childhood experiences, such as trauma or a history of abuse, including child abuse, sexual abuse, witnessing violence, being in a very scary or unprotected home where there's a lot of cursing and loud noises and screaming and violence, and the abuse of physical abuse and emotional abuse. This is one of the first things that you should change, is make sure that you're changing where you're going to live. And this is super important, especially when you have other people coexisting in that particular environment, making sure that you take control of your life if you can at all. And if you cannot, there are different services to reach out to. There are homes that are specifically for those who are domestic abused with domestic violence and so on. So make sure that you look into those things so that you'll be able to use or acknowledge the tools that you have available. You should not be around or in an environment where your life is in danger. Experiences related to other ongoing or chronic medical conditions, such as your traumatic brain injury, cancer, or diabetes. All of these are super, super important. The biological factors and chemical imbalances in the brain, that could be a problem while you have mental illness, and the use of alcohol or drugs. This can also be a cause for mental illness. But mental illness can also be caused by having feelings of loneliness and isolation. So there are almost we're going on, I think now 8 billion to 7.5 billion reported in our world's population. And why you are lonely can be something that you may want to seek attention from your counselor or from your psychologist, because there is something there that can be done about why are you feeling lonely and why are you alone. And there are 7.5 billion people on the planet. Well, I'm sure some of you have your answers for that, but the purpose of me asking that is so that you can take whatever necessary steps to get rid of that, so that you can live in a more peaceful environment, a peaceful state of mind. Now we want to keep going here. Let me see how we're doing. We're doing great. I want to go over this. How common are mental illnesses? Now, mental illnesses are among the most common health conditions in the United States. There's more than 1 in 5 United States adults that live with mental illness. 1 in every 5, everyone. You got to hear that. That is a lot. In every 5. Okay. So over 1 in 5 youth ages 13 to 18, either currently or at some point during their life, have had a serious debilitating mental illness. About 1 in 25 United States adults lives with a serious mental illness, such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or a major depression. Now, let's get down to brain and gut condition. What is that, a brain gut condition? Well, this is why we're talking about our subject today, because there is a connection that we have in our intestines with our brain, and also our brain also sends messages to our gut. Gut-brain connection is no joke, and it can link anxiety with stomach problems and vice versa. Now, have you ever had a gut-wrenching experience, and do certain situations make you feel nauseous? Well, have you ever felt butterflies in your stomach? Or we use these expressions for a reason. The gastrointestinal tract is sensitive to emotion, anger, anxiety, sadness, elation. All of these feelings and others can trigger symptoms in your gut. All of our body, our nerves, where everything is connected. They're not separate. The brain has a direct effect on the stomach and intestines. For example, the very thought of eating can release the stomach's juices before food gets there. This connection, it goes both ways. A troubled intestine can send signals to the brain, just as a troubled brain can send signals to the gut. Now, therefore, a person's stomach or intestinal distress can be caused or the product of anxiety, of stress, and depression. That's because the brain and the gastrointestinal system are intimately connected. Now, this especially is true in cases where a person's experiences gastrointestinal upset with no obvious physical cause. For such a functional GI disorders, and that is your gastrointestinal, the gastrointestinal disorders, it's difficult to heal a distressed gut without considering the role of stress and emotion. Now, we need those things, although they sound like we're bad or vilifying them, but we need it in balance. Gut healthy and anxiety is up next, where we talk about, given how closely the gut and the brain interact, it becomes easier to understand why we might feel nauseated before giving a presentation or feel the intestinal pain during times of stress. Well, I'm the opposite of that. I don't, sometimes I think when you're feeling nauseous or you're feeling like you can't go on or you can't speak because you're frightened of people looking at you. Well, I've learned to turn that into excitement. I don't care if it's 5 or if it's 500,000. I'll be doing the same thing. I want to give you the best product that I possibly can in helping you make better decisions. Now, the psychosocial factors influence the actual psychology of the gut. And it also, the factors influence the actual physiology of the gut, which is the actual functions of the gut, as well as symptoms. In other words, stress or depression or some other psychological factor can affect movement and contractions of the gastrointestinal tract, the intestine. Are your stomach and your intestinal problems, such as heartburn, abdominal cramps, or loose stools, related to stress? Well, watch for these common symptoms of stress, and we discuss them now with questions and comments, or see your PCP. Make sure you talk with your doctor about this. Now, together, and I want to emphasize that you can really make a difference when you take whatever you're dealing with and share it with the doctor. If you don't trust that doctor, get another one. But you don't allow yourself to set yourself risk premature death and premature these different diseases and infections because you didn't do anything about it. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop here, take a little break. We're going to go a little bit over today because we got a little late start here. So, Kara, you want to come on up and we'll just talk about where we are now and let people know what we're up to.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. And again, thank you to everyone that has joined us here. Today's topic is the best foods for mental health benefits. So again, thank you all so much for joining us. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Dr. Farid Zarif. We are streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Now for Instagram, there is about 10 minutes left of the stream before it cuts off. And that's the limit that the system gives us for Instagram. So if it cuts off and you're still there and you want to come on over, just come on over to YouTube. You can see us there. Just go into Dr. Zarif's stories, and there is a link in the stories that'll bring you right over to the YouTube stream, just in case it cuts off after that 10 minutes for anyone on Instagram. But again, great information. There are some questions in the chat, Dr. Zarif, and I know you have more information to share as well. So I'm going to bring you back up so we can get some of those questions answered if possible.
Okay, go ahead. You ready? You have them?
I do have them here. Well, so the first one came from Watch What the Health. And it was in regards to, again, with social media. And we mentioned that it can be a great place for community, but he mentioned that it can also be a place where you have trolls and you have harassment on social media as well. So his question is, how do you address, let me put it up here, how do you address social media harassment and stress? Thanks.
Okay. I do know this, What the Health, Watch What the Health is. I know that whenever you're unique, whenever you're doing something that is in common, you're going to be harassed by those people that are offended by you being different than they are. This is something that I face, and something that everybody that is saying something that is unique, or that is reaching out to help people, or that thinks things a little differently, they're going to be confronted with that. This is something that is hard to get used to, because it is definitely some kind of infringement on your personal space and your beliefs. But when that happens, I would say continue doing what you're doing. Collaborate with those people that also support you in what you're doing. I don't get why people would even feel a derogatory, negative way about someone that talks about preserving the earth, the protection of animals, the protection of our ecosystem, and all of that. But yes, this is a common factor when you are unique, and you are a unique person. I would say continue doing what you're doing. We applaud you. And with the point of harassment, excuse me, and I know this is very frustrating for you, but you do have legal, you do have rights also. So you can, if there are things like, if it's defamation, or they're saying things that are not true, and they're doing it in a way that is very hurtful, then you can take other legal steps. You might even want to consult with, or have a meeting with an attorney, so that you can, if it's to that point, that's serious. But in the meantime, power is in the people. Let's, come together. We talk about it. You talk about it. You get other people, and then there's no power like the collaboration of people in the same mindset, pushing for those. Just like the people out that are today that are standing up for war, and then you got those who are for it. Some people want to fight, and some other people, no, don't do it. It doesn't seem realistic that you got people that really want to be violent and hurt other people. But that, again, is the way of the world. We have to just find out, how do we maneuver around it? Lastly, I want to say this. Do not let them get the best of you whenever you're talking about helping people. Do not let them in your space of peace. You have to protect your peace. Don't have a conversation. You give people the benefit of the doubt when you have a conversation with them, and then lets them think that what you're saying, or that what they're saying to you, is important. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to have that kind of a relationship with people, your relationship with people. And now we go into an argument, or we go into a fight, we quarrel. Do not let them overtake the great mind that you have, your great ideas. because they will, if you allow them to, take away your joy for what it is you love to do. Carolyn, you wanted to add to that?
Yes, I did, because I know we mentioned that social media is a place of community. And when it turns into something other than that, I'll just take my phone and put it to the side, because you do have the control. When it starts becoming stressful to you, you do have the control of just turning it off and putting it to the side. So that's another thing that I was going to add to it, because again, people, they get really bold behind the keyboard, and they say what they want to say. They would never say it in front of you, but they'll say it behind the keyboard because they know they're safe where they are. So again, if it's becoming stressful to you, just put it to the side, and go outside, take a walk, go into nature, do things like that. That's my addition to that question, Dr. Zarif.
Yeah, just thank you very much. I really want you to know that we definitely are with you and support you. So we're not just talking, and just saying, hey, just put your phone to the side. We when Kara says that, she's saying it with sincerity, and I'm saying what I say with sincerity. And it's who would have thought that helping people would be a task?
Yeah. You think everybody wanted to help, right? And accepted it. No, they don't.
But no. Like, yeah, that's just the way it is when you're different. And I know that's what my first name means: unique, matchless, and precious. And I know that this is the way that I carry myself. So in order for me to stand up for and with Farid, I make sure that I am being unique, matchless, and precious by my behavior and by who and what I choose to be in my life. And that's the thing that we got to keep you stay on, because it's a thing that you want to do to make things better. And you have proven to yourself and you believe, and that is your reality. And I say, brother, go for it. Stick with it. Don't look back. Just stay with it, because everybody that has made a huge difference in the way that we live today, the way that we see things today, the way that we believe today, all of these people were challenged. Whether you believe in this or that, it comes with some kind of challenge. Okay. All right. So I know we stayed on that a little while, but I really and truly want to. We have some more questions.
Yes.
Okay, go right ahead.
We do here from Barbara. She's asking, what are the cons of vegan diets, mental and physical? Wait, I'll put it up here so you can see it. Mental and physical, melanated, indigenous.
Okay, let's thank you for that, Barbara. What are the cons for vegan? Well, they're one of the things. I'll turn that around. What are the benefits of vegan? I'll still talk about the cons that you may run into. Is that if you believe that you cannot go without any animal protein, and you believe that these, and I'm talking about beliefs versus the facts, because the fact is that you can live without animals. That's the fact. And many people, just last week, there were a huge recalls from dairy and from meat. There's a lot, and that's ongoing. A lot of times it's quiet, because by the time that you find out about it, you've already eaten the meat and the recall is off. Isn't that horrible?
It is.
That's the way that it happens.
The worst would be to hear about the recall and you're eating that thing at the same time as
yeah,
well,
Yeah, right. Just like, what?
Yeah.
But, I got to say that there's some people that say, oh, this is what they're talking about right here.
Mm-hmm.
And they can continue to eat it, because there's a lot of people look at these things as, man, ain't nobody going to tell me what I'm going to eat. That whole, we know that story. Let's go on with Barbara's question here. What are the cons of a vegan? So, most of I see there aren't many. There are things that, like vitamin B12, which is cyanocobalamin, that is usually found in animal products. And you have like also, again, the question of the complete protein and incomplete protein. Do your due diligence, you will find out that that's not even a fact. That's not true. That's some biggity bum, and we don't need to believe in that kind of stuff. And the thing about it, late studies show that those things are not factual at all. So yeah, the other things that you might not get from the downside from the well, that's the upside. The upside is that you have a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit, grains, and legumes, and it also it increases or it lowers the risk of disease and illness. And that's what's so great about eating a vegan or a plant-based diet or a vegan diet. So keep that in mind. Thank you for your question there. And what is this right here? Mental and physical, melanated, indigenous. So yeah, mental and physically, you can eat foods that do change your mood. I'm going to bring this up a little bit here. Here's one of them, serotonin. Now, serotonin, you probably heard of serotonin. And I'm going to let Karen let you rest for a minute here. The serotonin is a neurotransmitter, and serotonin is actually known that it helps regulate sleep and appetite and mediate moods and inhibit pain, but it's also the hormone that we feel or that affects our brain when we want to make love. Okay, so that part of making love and having sexual intercourse, this is where serotonin comes in. And some people are more sensitive to it than others, but in any case, it is a form of euphoria. So that euphoria is that great feeling that one feels when you're excited. That's what elation means. So you can have eustress that comes from elation, or you can have distress when you're dealing with a lot of difficult challenges. Since about 95% of your serotonin is produced in your gastrointestinal tract, and your gastrointestinal tract is lined with 100 million nerve cells or neurons, it makes sense that the inner workings of your digestive system don't just help you digest food, but they also guide your emotions. So the way that you feel has so much to do with what you're eating, what you're drinking, who you are around, your environment. So start paying attention to how eating different foods make you feel. Also, the way that these foods make you feel, all these processed foods and all this sugar, you got to cut all that stuff out. You have to cut all that out. And what I mean by that is you can start, taking steps to reduce it, but sugar can be very detrimental to your body. It can definitely destroy your body little by little. And people that have a mix of sarcopenia, for instance, sarcopenia is a disease that old people get, especially older people, when they stop moving. And in order to get them to move, they drink or they eat something that has a large amount of sugar in it, and they eat it until they feel good. But after they come down from their high, they feel very, very bad about it because now they have a sugar low. And we'll get to that later on, the hypoglycemia along with the hyperglycemia. Now, how are diet and mental health linked? Well, eating regularly is one thing, and that is not to go on these things. When you're going on these different diets and you're fasting and you start on the fast, you're like, God, I did that with ease. Now I want to go to the extreme. And that's what really gets us out of balance. We overdo it. We don't do the same healthy things over and over and over. And that's what we have to do. Eating regularly is a beginning, and that can stop your blood sugar levels from dropping, which can make you feel tired. It can make you feel very fatigued, and it can really make you feel bad tempered. So when you're running out of this fuel, that's when your food is being broken down, and you have this you're cantankerous. It's hard to talk to you. You're very short tempered. Well, this isn't the normal way or the natural way for one to act, especially when they're eating healthy foods. Stay hydrated would be next. Even mildly hydration or mildly hydrated can affect your mood, your energy level, and the ability to concentrate. Now, you want to eat in the right balance. And what is the right balance? You want to have the balance of fats, especially. And that's why, when you're taking the fats, it might be those essential fatty acids, not to be confused with essential oils. It has this whole different world. I'm talking about EFAs. That's the essential fatty acids. When linoleic, oleic, linolenic, these are the different fatty acids that our body does not make on its own. So eat the right balance of fats. We'll go into that later. Now, just giving you enough information to know that your brains need healthy fats. And that's why we went over the cold pressed fats. People that you can't recall things. Right? I'm not talking about that, because that's when you get excited. Sometimes you forget your name, and that's just excitation, overly excited, elation. But I'm talking about when you are just totally blank, absent of things that happen, perhaps like in your long term, and you don't know who your sister is. You don't know who your husband is. You don't know who your wife is. You don't know who your friends are. Then we get into a very, very serious situation. Look after your gut health. It's very important, because your gut health can reflect how you're feeling, and it can speed up or can slow down if you're stressed. Healthy food for your gut includes fruit, vegetables, beans, and probiotics. So probiotics would be your kimchi. It would be other fermented kombucha. It would also be yogurt. It would be kefir and some other wonderful foods, but get those in your body. Be aware of how caffeine can affect your mood. It can cause sleep problems, especially if you drink it close to bedtime. And some people find that it makes them irritable and anxious too. Caffeine is found in coffee, tea, cola, energy drinks, and chocolate. Now, the anatomy, I'm just going to go up a little bit here so that I can get you into some of the foods. I want to talk about this just a little bit. Constipation, these are some of the things that when you don't eat, like earlier, Miss J shared with us, now that she's eating a plant-based diet and she's eating on a regular basis, this will help you with this situation. Constipation occurs when your bowel movements become less frequent and stools become difficult to pass. It happens most often due to the changes in diet or routine, or it can be due to inadequate intake of fiber. It can also be due to you holding on to your waist too long, like, all day long, or sometimes only once every 2 days. This is really something that you should take a serious look at. You should call your health care provider if you have severe pain, or you have your blood in your stool, or your constipation that lasts longer than 3 weeks. You need to go and get, don't do the self-diagnosis. Go to a professional with this. Now, how do you prevent constipation? Follow a diet that includes 20 to 25 grams of fiber every day, men and women. Exercise more often, drink 8 glasses of water. That seems to be 1 gallon over a day. You should be drinking in. Don't guzzle down. Take your time. You don't want to make yourself like, ugh, I can't stand this. Even if you start off mixing it in other tea or cold beverages and so forth. Don't delay if you need to use the bathroom. You want to get in there, take care of business. Don't finish off, oh, this was a good conversation and I had to hold it. Get out of there, do what you need to do. Talk to your healthcare provider about using laxatives. That may be one of them. Those of you that are using the laxatives that are in the form of herbs, you should talk to a herbalist to know exactly how much. You should know what these different types of herbs are and the downsides to them, okay? Undergo biofeedback therapy is also very helpful. Now, when it comes to diarrhea, which is like the opposite, the diarrhea means that having loose and watery stool during a bowel movement is common in both children and adults, and usually goes away on its own within a few days. Now, if it doesn't improve, or if it's that you're in experiencing other symptoms like fever and bloody stool, reach out to your provider, your health care provider, to get treatment and relief, the relief that you need. Now, I'll shoot through this, but you should know this. I know this isn't the most. I'm going to talk a little bit about stool. This is from the Bristol stool chart, and these are the different types of stool. Whenever you have these separated and very hard lumps of stool, that's severe constipation. This is when it can get what is called stool blockage. Along with the lumpy and sausage-like, you can also have mild constipation. It's still, you're still interfering, but the hard lumps are severe, lumpy, sausage-like shape, and sometimes they all come to, they're stuck together, and that's mild constipation. A sausage-shaped, or the ones that crack in the surface, this is normal. And then this smooth like a sausage shape or snake like, when it forms like, I remember Dr. Oz used to always say, yeah, you got to make an S. You don't have to make an S. All you have to do is have a smooth and soft, and also girth. You want to have size to your stool, where your stool moves out without straining. You shouldn't have to strain there, okay? The fifth type is soft blobs, where clear-cut edges are seen. Now, this is because this is people that just eat meat and animals all the time, and you don't have the fiber that's necessary for a healthy stool. The type 6 is the mushy consistency and ragged edges. This is mild diarrhea, and this is the type 7 is liquid consistency with no solid pieces, and then that's like water. It's just liquid, and it's usually, it feels like everything in your body is coming out at that point. So those are some ways that you can identify. The other thing that you want to do, I'll take that off so I can spare you. The other thing that you want to make sure that your stool is floating. If it's floating, that'll give you indication that you have enough fiber, And then you notice that when the stool is hard and is clumping, it actually submerges. It goes down, it's under the water, Okay, so you want to make sure that your stool is also soft and it's effortless for you to move your stool. If you're eating, again, animal products, you're going to have this challenge. And if you're eating the animals in the morning, the animals in the afternoon, the animals in the evening, then you're going to have even more a higher risk of infection, a higher risk of different diseases, so on. All right, I'm going to go. There's a lot of other things that I'm going to do here. Look at all these goodies. I want to, here we go. So right here, this is what I want you to add to your, the benefits is to add to this. See that? This is really important to make sure that you're spend more time in this produce area. And when you're in the produce area, this is really going to help you to use your nose, your senses, the way what you see, what you smell. All of this is a part of selecting what is going to be beneficial for your body. When we're just selecting from cans and boxes and like a box of cereal and cartons and all that, we don't even use our senses. But we use our senses when we're choosing a tangelo or a mango or the grapefruit. All of these things are very important, but we're using our senses. As you see, this sister right here is using her sight. She's using her touch. She's using her, the smelling the aroma. She's using the texture, so that the way that it feels. And if it were a watermelon and she thumped it, she would be using her sense of sound. Now, there are a lot of diseases associated. I'll go past that. We're almost there. Calmatives is one that I want you. Now, this is all of this. See, this is cauliflower. And you see all the different colors. Well, these colors, remember, you have what are called anthocyanins. And you also have the different types of polyphenols, or you have many of polyphenols. These are nutrients that you find in phytochemicals. Phytochemicals are plant chemicals. Now, the avocado, when it comes to that, you have the folate, you have niacin. All these are B vitamins, pantothenic acid, riboflavin, and vitamin B6. Consuming regular portions of avocado might help with anxiety due to its B vitamin content. And B vitamins are super important. Of course, you have magnesium. You have some other things that help you. Calcium even helps you to relax too, as part of the calmatives that are available. Blueberries, eating blueberries could be helpful with your stress. And I'm talking about distress to help you calm down. But guess what? I'm also talking about eustress or eustress. Now, the eustress is when you're elated, you're excited, you got a lot. Ooh, I won. Or you're excited about seeing someone, or you're excited about something, and it is, let's call it's the good excitement. But you're getting too much of it. Blueberries really help. They're also rich in antioxidants, which help to delay and prevent the cell damage. The study published in 2019 found that the post-menopausal people increased dietary antioxidants, lowered anxiety scores. So if you are having anxiety, having these kinds of vitamins and minerals and other polyphenols that you get from your fruit and your vegetables, very important. Let's look at this. We got vegetables coming up. When you talk about a very healthy mental capacity, as well as your cognition, your cognitive skills, when it comes to all of these wonderful things, vegetables are super important. And the best healthy vegetables to eat are the leafy greens. And that's super important because of the B, C, and E vitamins, even vitamin K. The leafy greens are also rich in dietary iron, calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Then you have cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables are like we just saw, all the colors and like the photo up here, all these different colors. And they might help us to acquire a taste for other things like eggplant and like jicama and some of the other scallions, some of the other foods that you might not be used to eating, but eating some of these will help you to get used to those things. Other things like beans and yams, eggplant, that I just said, bell pepper and tomatoes. All of these are very important when it comes to eating healthy foods. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there because I know that we're over time and I want to stop here now. I want to thank you for being here. This has been so good. We already knew that this is going to be hot, hot, hot. And I'm really, really glad that you all, you stayed here with us and you enjoyed. I'm taking for granted that you enjoyed because we're still here and we really appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. Great information, Dr. Zarif. I know you had a whole lot more to share, but just the information that you shared alone was really great. I just wanted to, let me see here. Just add this here, just as information for anyone that is watching right now, National Mental Health Hotline, that information. Of course, we would go ahead and share that with you for anyone that is interested in or would like to make that call. It's a anonymous call that's there for anyone to share with any other person that may need it. So I just wanted to go ahead and share that. Again, thank you all so much for joining us here. In the Mind of Nature, our mission is to bring awareness, listen to your feedback. And now it's time for you to take action. Again, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. The YouTube channel is Dr. Farid Zarif. And also remember to share the information. When you know that we're having a live, whenever there's a live stream, we're here every Saturday, 8 a.m. PST. Go ahead and share it on your page, on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page, put it in your stories, invite people to come along and be a part of the conversation. Remember, we don't want to keep Dr. Zarif a secret. We have to share him with others. Don't just keep him to yourself. We got to share him with others. So again, great information, Dr. Zarif. Thank you so much for that.
Really appreciate it. And before we get out of here, I want to do this right fast. There's a couple of really good questions here. We start with Dr. Coates, and she says that should we go every time, speaking about the bathroom, should we go every time we eat? And sometimes what happens is a meal actually, it ignites or it initiates or it stimulates the bowels to move. But it doesn't happen like that all the time. Some people eat and they become compacted with waste, and that's because they're not eating in a way that would help them to move their stools. And that's why we need to bring fiber in, because fiber also absorbs water. Water then causes the increased size of the stool, and this helps you to move regularly and without strain. You can also cause injury if your stool is too hard. It can cause polyps and it can cause hemorrhoids. Now, these polyps and hemorrhoids, this should be an indicator that your stool is too hard. Remember, again, you don't have to go to the bathroom straining. Now let's go to the next one. The next one says, this is Barbara Kimes is saying that stress continuum must be balanced. Exactly. I concur That's a very good statement. Yes. Thank you for great info. Thank you. Thank you, Suzette. And then I want to have like affect the ADHD. So when we're talking about the attention hypertension, I know though this is for hyperactivity. So ADH, if a person is hyperactive where they can't be still, this is a great time to go to these counselors and people that do this for a life, because you'll get the kind of, do your best not to go to Shirley down the street. Or I'm getting ready to call, Uncle James. I want you to take the steps, because a lot of people get they get information, but they get it from the wrong source, and that's called misinformation. And sometimes you do run to people. Yeah, I always eat oatmeal in the morning. All right. But if you're dealing with something like this very seriously, I suggest that you see a person that takes that very seriously, and that's the professionals. Decos, thank you for it. You're more than welcome. It was making me nervous because I don't go like that. Yeah, right. You're actually right. Yeah, everybody's so different. That's biochemical individuality. Somebody else had a question here. Oh, Denise Kane. What vegetables are loaded with the B12 sources? So why don't we, first of all, when you talk about B12, you're going to have most people are looking at B12 as a substance that is present in animal foods. So that includes fish and meat, poultry, it also eggs and dairy. So that's what you're going to hear most of the time. But the truth is that we have other, there are other foods that we can eat. Like there's different clovers, there's different sprouts that you can eat that have B12 in them. You have B12 in just a few things that that we do have. And you can take the chia seed is another one, and there may be other nuts that also have those. We don't know everything about anything, so there are some other fruits and vegetables that may have, along with fortified breakfast cereals. Also, nutritional yeast also is known to have vitamin B12, and vitamin B12 is very high on the bioavailability in fruits and vegetables that I just mentioned. Okay, so that's why it becomes, I would not worry about it, because you only have to have micrograms as far as the amount that you take. I've never been deficient in vitamin B, and I have been starting a vegetarian at 9 years old. And so I've done this for a long time, and I've never had that, nor have I seen anyone that had to be rushed to the hospital because they had too much vitamin B or too much vitamin C. Luckily for us, we urinate this out every 2 to 3 hours. Okay, let's get out. You ready to go? All right, get out of here.
Yes, I am. I mean, great information, but I appreciate everyone's time, and our time is definitely up with the information that we are sharing today. But please make sure, do your own research as well. It doesn't stop here. Like I said, take the action on the information that you heard here today and continue on with your own research. Thank you so much, Dr. Zari. Thank you, everyone that joined us here in the Mind of Nature. Again, we are here 8 a.m. PST every Saturday. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Fareed Zarif, and
I am Carolyn.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week, 8 a.m. PST. Tell a friend.